Shalom, family. Good to see everyone. Hope you're doing well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got 2 more days left for you to get 45% off of 12 Tribe on Earth products. There is no buying limit. You can buy as much as you want or as little as you want for 45% off. And you are looking at my newest products that just came out. It's a Chebe Botanical Shampoo. You can get the Chebe hair growth oil in two different sizes, 8 ounce and 4 ounce, and a Chebe growth pomade. So grab it up while you can for 45% off. So the sale will end on the 7th at 11:59 p.m. All right, y'all. So let's talk about the major storm that hit when Donald Trump was supposed to do a speech and then fireworks were going to be on display. Well, instead, the event was canceled. Everybody had to leave. Some places they actually started the fireworks, like here in New Jersey. They actually started the fireworks and they had to come to an abrupt stop because the winds were blowing. The winds were blowing at 50 miles an hour here. The rain was heavy. There were lightning strikes and loud thunder. Boy, you would have thought a hurricane moved in. And y'all, the Most High was doing everything to disrupt this thing. They had triple digit temperatures during the day and a wild behind storm at night. I tell you what, they didn't plan this thing well at all. Usually, places will have like a secondary date that you can come to just in case there's inclement weather because you're having this event outdoors. If you're having it outdoors, you need to make additional plans just in case the weather is not good. They didn't even bother to do that, y'all. So much for those high IQs. So I remember it was kind of calm. And then when it got close to 9 p.m. last night, all hell broke loose. Even where I was, I saw that wild storm that came in. And I was like, you know what? The Most High means this. He means this. He wants this firework stuff shut down. I think it's at the point where he doesn't want all this Gentile stuff going on anymore. That's why, if you notice, he's been ruining these things all the time. I mean, it seems like every Memorial Day it's raining, where people have to go out in the rain and barbecue, and other holidays as well. And I'm just saying, he doesn't want this Gentile stuff going on anymore. These holidays, and I mean, talk about ruining something that's been planned for 10 years. 10 years. And all it take, think about it. All it took was raising the temperature and bringing a major storm to shut it all down. Oh yeah, it was loud. That storm was loud. It was people around here playing music, cooking out, having their good time. And I tell you what, after that storm came, I looked outside, them cars were gone. They were gone. Whoever was having their party ended at that moment because it was cars all up and down the street, and you could hear the loud music and you could hear them popping off fireworks. Then when that storm moved in, everything went silent. And at one point, I got up to look outside, and all them cars that were parked up and down the street, they were gone. They were gone. People got the hell up on out of here, for real. But yes, see, like I said, I have no fruit. The Most High used the weather to make the fruit trees barrennest this year. Never seen nothing like this before. But see, fruit trees cannot withstand the cold. So if you have a few 50-degree nights in a row, you ain't gonna have no fruit. And every day those folks were out there at the fair, and I was reading every day this past week. They had an ambulance constantly coming up there because people were passing out in those hot temperatures. And when it started raining, they had designated buildings for people to go in, government buildings. And one of them was the Black Smithsonian. I said, look at how ironic that is. The Black Smithsonian, where he was taking exhibits out because he doesn't want us told in the history anymore. The only history Donald Trump wants spoken in this country are history glorifying white men. That's the kind of history he wants told in this country. And I was looking at a lot of the exhibits that were there. I didn't see nobody melanated. Every exhibit or picture they had up were white men, mostly white men. And that's fine with me. I'm happy you did not include us in your disastrous America 250 anniversary. I'm proud to say I'm glad my people were not included. I'm glad you had a display in sea of white. That's what should be there because we should not be included. Thank you very much. I would never want our faces displayed on this embarrassment that y'all put on. So, no feelings are hurt over here. So, y'all, I want y'all to see what this weather was really, truly like. And you cannot tell me the Most High did not have a hand in this entire week and did not have a hand in shutting down the fireworks last night. In fact, there were a few people that shot them off until the rain kicked in and then it went silent outside. And then one person I could hear, like maybe a few blocks away, were still trying to fire them off. And the rain got heavy again, and I didn't hear another peep out. I said, Most High don't want all this crap going on. He's shutting it down. So y'all, let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Okay, y'all, give me a one if you can see my screen. You're going to see how wild this storm was. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, no fireworks for New Haven, Connecticut. No fireworks. They were about to start when this storm broke out. Too bad.
Hey guys, Logan Hall here with WPC News, and we are at the Boston Pops Fireworks Spectacular, where just moments ago, officials came over the intercom and asked everybody in the area to evacuate because of potential lightning storms in the area. And you can now see thousands and thousands of people making their way to the exits and seeking shelter. This entire area behind me here was flooded with people just moments ago. There are state troopers and EMS on the ground here working to help people gather their belongings and make their way to an exit. Thousands of people will be seeking shelter underneath tunnels on Storrow Drive and waiting this storm out. The storm is set to touch down here any minute and brings the potential of lightning risks in the area, especially with the stage that they built behind me here and a lot of these high rises that you see across the Esplanade. So we'll keep you posted on the status of this storm and when this show will be back up and running. Guys, man, see High Daily News, Sky Valley, Sky Pot, storm. Woo!
Okay, just watch this. Donald Trump is melting down in the Oval Office right now with tears in his eyes because severe weather just wrecked his big America 250 celebration on the National Mall. Mother Nature slammed the event with a massive storm, forcing the total cancellation of his speech and fireworks festival in a humiliating disaster. The chaotic evacuation turned into pure madness that took over an hour with zero order or structure. People pushed toward the Jefferson and Madison sides, crowded in confusion, grew furious, and many families simply went home, their day completely ruined. Trump called into Fox News sounding sad and disappointed, yet claimed he was energized and determined to deliver his speech no matter what, even at 2 a.m. He compared himself to D-Day veterans storming the beaches, saying if they could face that, he could speak through the rain. On Truth Social, he posted that storms bring luck and make events more exciting, vowing to wait it out. This malignant narcissist lives in a total fantasy world, making everything about himself while screwing over his supporters yet again. Truly insane and pathetic.
I just want to tell y'all, this is New Jersey. When the storm hit us, it started out with these crazy freakish winds. The winds were like, oh man, I was like, what is going on? I mean, the winds were crazy. There were all kinds of downed trees here in New Jersey from this storm. So yes, it was bad. And I think this is probably one of the worst I've seen. And you're going to see limbs flying. I mean, that's how bad it was here in New Jersey last night. It was bad. So let's get to it. So this is Camden County, New Jersey.
Pathetic.
No fireworks for 2026 was a fail. We are literally drenched. It is pouring rain right now. It's bad.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. And take a look at this. This was the scene at the riverfront in Harrisburg. You could see people holding hands there while they took cover under tents, and those tents barely staying put under the heavy wind gusts. some trees down along North Front Street, taking down that sign with it as well. And some of our own folks at CBS 21 were at the event today and say that at one point they even saw a tree branch fall and shatter a car's back window. The fireworks that were supposed to kick off at 9:15 there were canceled. The city says the decision was made to prioritize people's safety and announced that those fireworks will be rescheduled to a later date. And the Harrisburg Senators also canceled tonight's game and postponed the fireworks as well. People who had tickets for that game can get refunds through the Senators' website.
So yeah, it's official. My 4th of July fireworks are canceled. The whole city of Elgin, the whole party canceled because of the storms. There's every single year something happens where we can't see these fireworks. That's all I'll do is I'm going to go to Indiana next year and get my own, because that's all I want to do is just see some fireworks tonight. And hopefully Elgin shows out and shows up what's up. Because, man, canceled fireworks again. It's a killer, man. That's your boy John, and it's going to be okay. We still got some fillets to grill. We're just waiting for this rain to let up, and then we can put some food on the grill. We got some zombie dust in the bottle. We're good to go. What are you guys doing on your 4th? If it's as good as mine, let me know in the comments. Peace.
Yeah, John here looks lit. Okay, he looks lit and sounds lit. So anyway, y'all, that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. When I went to look at the local news, they said the wind gusts were 50 miles an hour where I was. And it really did sound like, I'm like, wow, Most High, where did you pull this storm out? Because some places were like, they didn't even see it coming. But look, we are in those times, y'all. All of the things they used to get pleasure from, they're not going to get that pleasure anymore. Their form of entertainment, all of that's coming to an end. And I saw the Most High's hand in this from early in the week all the way up until the storm last night. I said, no, I see your hand in this because he made it so difficult for them to enjoy that event. It was not even funny. And then on top of that, I said, see, that was him speaking through Donald Trump. You were not allowed to bring any chairs. You were not allowed to have a cooler. You were not allowed to even have your own bottle of water. They literally wanted you to stand up in that baking sun for whatever concerts they were having. And I was like, well, damn, you see the weather. You mean no ice, no water, no nothing? Yeah, I guess people were passing out. What kind of rules are those? You're in the dead of summer. But that was the rules they had, y'all. They couldn't have their own water, their own cooler, their own chairs, nothing. They literally had to just stand there and bake and watch whatever concerts they were putting on. I said, no wonder why it was every time you saw the concert area, you saw people performing on the stage, but when you looked out, it was nobody standing there. Yeah, because they knew they were going to bake out there and possibly pass out. So, yeah, I think the time of celebrating these Gentile holidays, y'all, I see it. It's over. It's over. And that's what he was showing you. So during the day, you were roasting out there. And then at night, he brought a powerful storm in there. So no matter what, you were not going to enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. G. Bowman Jr., thank you for the 27-month membership. The storm sounded powerful in my sound system so far. Google Tube isn't covenantly adding fake electrical analog interference to a digital fiber optic transmission. And you know what? Speaking of that, thank you so much for your support for my channel. Do you know my Comcast is still out, y'all? My Comcast has been out for 2 days. This is the second day. It's been out. I have an old router that I've kept as a backup. Thank goodness I have that. If I did not have my old school router, I wouldn't be on here at all. I just decided, before I got Comcast, I would keep that router because I never had a lot of problems out of it. It was just old, that's all. But you can still connect with it. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it. And I kept it, and it's serving its purpose now, for real. It really is. And I'm not the only one. It's a lot of people that have Comcast that are out nationwide, y'all. All over this nation. And this is like day 2. And I don't know. I cannot connect, but I can connect to my old router. So this is right now telling me I need to keep my old router. There were times when, a couple of occasions, I thought about getting rid of it altogether. And then I decided, no, I'm not getting rid of it. I'm going to keep my router. I'm so glad I decided to do exactly that. So he cut off communication too. Mm-hmm. Wow. And just think, on the 4th of July, 250 years ago, they wrote in their Constitution that we were 3/5 of a human being. And to this very day, they never made any attempt to change it. It's still there. Okay. G. Bowman Jr., thank you so much for your super chat. Yahuwah El Adonai Elohai. Telepathy wins every time. It sure does. I tell you what, he was on the money with the heat and he was on the money with the storm. They could barely fire off one firecracker before that storm was bringing it. I was like, wow. Wow. If people can't see the judgment in all of this, you just didn't want to see it. You didn't want to see it. Keith Cunningham, thank you so much for the super chat. And they had to take shelter at the African American Museum. How ironic. Yes, I said that a little earlier. I said, yeah, the exact museum where he removed displays, and a judge told him he had to put everything back because that history is also American history. And he pretty much told Donald Trump, you can't remove history just because you don't like it. It's still history. And he was ordered to put it back up. I'm sorry. I would have locked the door and put up the we're sorry. Sorry, we're closed. Yes. Yes. Yeah. They have no business being in there. But yeah, from what I understand, they opened up a couple of the different government buildings for people to, have shelter away from the storm. That's what they did. And yeah, the Black Smithsonian was one of those buildings that they opened up. Yes. And I believe the Commerce building, I don't know, I don't think they opened up the Treasury, but the Commerce building was open, and it was a few other buildings that they were talking about that were open for shelter. Yeah. I mean, the rain did eventually stop, but like they said, nobody went back up to that same location in Washington, D.C. People just said, well, forget it, and from what I understand, most people left, especially the ones that came in from out of town. They just left. So Donald Trump never got to give his speech, y'all, in D.C. He did not get to give his speech. And they did not have the fireworks show they wanted to have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And it didn't take but a storm to bust up everything. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much. And I deeply appreciate your support. Don't forget to pick up your hair products. And remember, the sale will end on the 7th at 11:59. So as long as you can get your order in before then, you can enjoy that 45% off discount. Shalom, family.